Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Tay, an indie author obsessed with all things books, writing, and cozy vibes. I published my debut novel, Venture Below, the first in a YA fantasy series, and today I am working on the edits for the second novel in the series. Editing can be a roller coaster of emotions, so I thought I'd bring you along for the ride. Venture Below is available on Amazon, Kindle, Kindle Unlimited. There's a link down below in the description if you want to check it out. It's a fun ride. Queens, princesses, rebellions, mystery, a lot going on, and it's a fun ride. So check this one out if you want to. It has been a hot minute since I have touched Venture Beyond. In my last writing vlog, I finished the draft and I gave it to my alpha reader, Kayla. Shout out to Kayla. And she gave me back some feedback. I have some notes of my own that I need to fix. There's a lot going on with this manuscript. I'm currently on draft 7. Love that for me. And I'm hoping to publish this in November. But in order to do so, I need to have these edits done by the end of September at the latest. I need to get quite a bit done just today and moving forward. I don't know how many chapters my goal is right now. I think it also depends on what the chapter is. So I do have a couple that I need to rewrite, a couple I need to just write in general that I think are going to take up some time. But this beginning half of the novel, I'm pretty sure is going to flow decently well. I don't have too much I need to be reworking. But today we're just going to focus on editing and getting as much done as we can. Venture Beyond is in the perspective of Riley, who is the leader of the rebellion that I was mentioning. So there's a lot going on with the politics and just leadership, different quarrels happening. There's so much going on in this book. And then there's also the magical elements of the world building that I have to be worrying about. A bunch of questions that are asked in the first book I do answer in the second book. So I want to make sure that I do that in a good way and not just like by info dumping on the reader. So there's a lot of plates we're going to be balancing in today's editing vlog. One thing I want to get better at is actually having a writing routine, especially going into these deep edits that I'm going to be doing. I've come up with a few things that I want to incorporate into my writing process. Feel free to add them to yours as well. I read a book called Writing Down the Bones. There were so many beautiful quotes in here that made me inspired and motivated to write. The main takeaway from this is that the author, Natalie Goldberg, writes every single day in a composition notebook. She fills one up a month. And the goal of this is to flow and just get the words out of your head. She does have some writing prompts, which I did write down in the back of this. For me, being a perfectionist and somebody who holds really tight to the reins of control, this is one of the most freeing things I have ever done when it comes to my writing process. As you saw, I am writing very sloppily. You cannot, sometimes I cannot even read what I had written. I love that so much, but she talks about how she literally starts at the top of the page, doesn't listen to any of the margins or lines, and just writes. She was also a professor, and so she said she could always tell when her students were actually letting their mind go and just writing. For me, that is always my goal, is to just let go and flow. Don't worry about punctuation, don't worry about grammar, which is still pretty hard for me to do even in this. It was just so freeing. So that's what I did to start off my routine, and I want to do that every time I sit down because I feel the difference from when I do this and I don't do this. Every single time that I do, the words literally come flowing out of me and I'm not questioning anything or second guessing it. And for me, struggling with imposter syndrome, self-doubt, this is one of the best cures that I have found, and I do not do it enough. So moving forward, even when I'm not vlogging, I would love to incorporate this in my writing routine, if not daily practice. As you can see, this was in July. I do not do this every single day by any means, and I have definitely dropped off for a couple months, but I have recently picked this back up and don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So that is one aspect of my writing process. The other that I just started and came up with today is something called author diaries. So I made a little space in Scrivener where every day that I work on my manuscript, I'm going to have an entry, like a diary, where I kind of say where I'm at in my headspace before I write, and then one after I write that has like what I've accomplished in that writing session. Today's author diary was all about me coming up with this concept, and then also I think it'll be a good way to just warm up my fingers for typing and my brain for getting the flow out again. Really, those two practices are gonna be so that I can just get into the flow of writing and dive right in. Definitely want to drink some coffee every time I sit down to write. I mean, I do that every morning, but I still think just having a little cup next to me that I can have, it just feels more cozy. Lighting my candle, little rituals that I want to include in my writing process so my brain like shifts gears as soon as I sit down to get to editing. I've got some fun stuff in store for today's vlog just to help me keeping the momentum going, taking breaks, different things like that. I'm so excited to show you guys where we are camping because I do plan on going on a little walk for a break. Okay, I think I'm gonna put on my Venture Beyond playlist, which I will link down below for Spotify and Apple Music if you want to check it out. I do listen to music when I write. Here is my Venture Beyond playlist. The shattered glass is reminiscent to the cover of Venture Beyond. I sense a theme. Okay, Taylor, that's enough. I'm gonna go ahead and hit shuffle on this and get to editing. After lunch, we're going to give Trevor a haircut, but I edited the prologue and the first 2 chapters. That was a win. Honestly, I think my goal is like 5 chapters. If I can do more than that, incredible. Okay. Why do you look like that? These are the scissors I use. I am so nervous. How much do you want off? So it's not in your face, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. For your eyes, or do you want it shorter?
Shorter.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cut his hair without you guys watching because it's making me nervous. We'll show you the final result, I guess. I did it! All done.
Boom! Haircut.
Yay. It's so cute.
Big haircut.
Do you guys like it? Trevor, Stop showing yourself off. Anyway, that's totally off topic from this video. So I'm gonna go ahead, get into my second round of edits. Okay, I have officially edited the 5 chapters that I said I wanted to edit. Honestly, I'm really finding a flow with editing. I had some highlights and I'll put like my little chart here, but basically I was figuring out like the fact checks that I needed to do, and that was like for the timeline of my series, and then also just like facts in life for certain elements. Orange was like rewriting the whole section, magenta new word choice, and then green were any brackets I still had. The orange rewrite, really the pink like magenta thing, the words are coming pretty effortlessly right now for like what I want to like figure out as a replacement for that word. The rewrites, I'm realizing a lot of the stuff that I was like, I'm not sure like if I want to rephrase this or whatever, I'm just deleting because it was like excess fat on my manuscript, and it was just like something that didn't need to be said. It was almost like I was repeating a phrase or something. So that was kind of interesting to notice that like I, as the version of me that was just editing it, noticed like, hey, this isn't flowing. This is like stopping the train of thought like as the reader. I'm also fixing some grammatical stuff that I'm finding, but a pretty major plot point just happened. Yeah. This begins kind of the rewrite portion of my editing process, but that's my little update. Oh my god. Okay. We're friends, right? You and I. I mean, we're gathered here today. I'm spiraling. It is officially the next day. It was a travel day for us, which if you are new here, traveling is a huge part of my life. We live full-time in an RV and we are traveling around America. We have been. This is our 3rd year now. So travel days are long and exhausting always, but it's worth it. Today was a pretty long travel day. There's just a lot of moving parts in our life right now, which I would love to do like a day in the life, week in the life coming up, because I have some exciting things coming up. I brought you here today. I had this whole concept for this video to be like very put together and aesthetic and like satisfying for you. Yeah, there's just so many moving parts, and like I'm concerned about not having internet to like upload this for you guys on Saturday and stuff. But yeah, I haven't touched my manuscript today. I was hashing through like where I'm at in the manuscript last night, but I was stuck because there's a scene now that I need to write to kind of fill in this gap of time, because I had something there and it genuinely was so pointless. Like it was 2 chapters of just, we weren't moving the plot along, we weren't developing character, like it was just nothing. And so I removed that and I'm kind of shifting the plot up a little bit. I was like, what can I put there to fill? And then I was like, nothing, let's just go. I still need to add like 30,000 words to my manuscript. It's about 40,000 right now and my end goal is 60,000, so not ideal right now, but I'm believing in myself. that I can do it. I was brainstorming for what I can do for that scene that I need to kind of maneuver, and I just decided I'm just gonna move on to the next chapter and bring that up. There's some filling in I need to do on the back end of this particular scene that is like gonna work really well. That's where I'm at right now. I don't know if I'm gonna get to that and film it. I'm trying to be a lot better at working on my novel, not just when I'm filming, which is very difficult for me because I think I've formed this habit where like it's just comfortable and I'm used to filming. Having you guys there is accountability and motivation to work on my book, almost to the point where it's like a crutch now, and that's not ideal for somebody who wants to be a full-time author. So if you have not checked out my Confessions of an Indie Author video that just went live Wednesday, please go check that one out. I talk a lot more in depth about how the Venture series came to be, my writing process, other projects that I'm working on aside from the Venture series, some advice and tips for other writers, and just some lessons I've been learning about imposter syndrome and not feeling good enough as an author. Go check that video out if you have not yet. As a little treat for you, I'm gonna give you a Goodwill haul. Let me show you. This isn't like a crazy haul, so don't get your hopes too high. Should I start off with the clothing items or the books? The books, you're right. The first thing I got is probably gonna be confusing to you if you don't know me in real life, but I got this book called Dance of the Wolves, and it is literally about this researcher and his experience with wolves. It like is just his process, like kind of figuring out like their habit. It's just a whole cool little book. It did have a cover, but it was beat to hell, so I took it off. I love wolves, they're my favorite animal, and I'm always looking for new resources to learn more about them. So snagged this book. The next book I got was The Overstory, which I almost bought this full price like not that long ago, and I was like, no, Taylor, you shouldn't. I genuinely don't really remember even what this was about, but I started reading it in the bookstore and was mind blown. I thought the writing was so good and unique. I'm pretty sure this is a bunch of different fables and they all have something to do with like the natural world, and like the writing is just really good in this. So I'm excited to pick this one up. Those are all the books I got. So not a lot. Now, we're gonna move on to the clothing items. First up, I love crew necks, clearly. It's basically all I have in my wardrobe, but I grabbed this one that says Seattle, Washington, with a little space needle on it. I spent like 10 months in Washington, like right by Seattle, and so I wanted something to commemorate it, and it's cute. Blue is like one of my colors that I really like wearing, so I grabbed it. Next up, I'm so excited about this. It's like a vintage sweater. Oh my god. The different patterns that are on this. And again, these are all colors that I really like wearing. These like ruby, like I just look good in those ones. So I'm very excited about this sweater. Oh my god, I'm so excited. That is literally all I have for you right now, and I hope it's enough. I'm just doing my best out here, guys. I'm trying. Thank you so much for being here and for starting the revision process with me. I do plan on doing more writing vlogs, more author diaries where I just update you guys on how I'm feeling as an author, what's going on in my noggin. So if you have any questions or you want to like know more about a certain aspect of my writing process, please comment down below because I would love to answer them. If you liked today's video, please give it a like, comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you get notified every single time that I post a new video. There are gonna be a lot of fun fall reading vlogs, cozy cafe writing vlogs, different adventures coming up, and I'm just so excited about it. So make sure you subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Bye!